Howdy and welcome back. I'm Raymond Dahlman of DSA Financial Group here with the weekly economic update for March 15, 2021. Hope everyone had a fantastic weekend. We got a little bit of snow here in Colorado. Maybe at the end I'll share some photos of the snowpocalypse that we endured. Wasn't too bad on Saturday, but really it dumped overnight Saturday into Sunday, and so I spent probably about 2 hours this afternoon digging out to the street. So hope everyone, like I said, had a good weekend. It is the week leading up to March Madness. Yay! Very sad that it was canceled last year. So those who know me know I'm an avid sports freak, and so this is kind of my Super Bowl / special time of the year to veg on the couch and watch basketball for an ungodly amount of time over the weekend. So, all right, well, let's go ahead and dive into the update of what happened over the last few days or the last week. Wall Street had some record highs last week. Some of that, I think, was the anticipation of the stimulus package, which was signed into law late last week. Dow Jones was up 4.07%. The S&P 500 was up a little over 2.5%. NASDAQ was up 3%, and the MSCI, basically internationals, was up a little over 3%. The Dow cracked 32,000, which, again, whether or not that's a good or a bad thing, only time will tell. I know I've spent a lot of time talking about the amount of dollars added to the M1 money supply, and so whether or not the Dow was priced appropriately, it's hard to say right now. So, all right, moving down to Treasury auctions. Treasury auctions to finance the federal spending are usually steady affairs, but investor trepidation was high leading up into the auctions. Looks like investors were concerned that lukewarm demand amid high or huge supply would drive yields higher. So, as it turned out, Wednesday's auction was received with adequate demand and helped tame the February inflationary numbers. So, but who's buying those treasuries? Is it the Fed? If the Fed's buying them, it's just moving money from one pocket to the other. So I'm not sure if there's actually a lot of demand out there for American paper moving forward. So, all right, the week ahead, Tuesday we have retail sales and industrial production. Wednesday, housing starts and the FOMC meeting announcment. Thursday, job claims, and then the index of leading economic indicators. Excuse me. And then companies reporting earnings. Coupa Software, never heard of them. Five Below, Cintas, FedEx, Nike, and Dollar General. So that appears to be the news from the economic world. Let's see. It looks like that's about it there. All right, I did have some white papers that I'm attaching with my weekly newsletter that goes out to clients and subscribers. The first one is guarding against identity theft. The more we become online creatures, this is certainly becoming a bigger and bigger problem. From time to time, a client calls in and says, hey, somebody hacked this or they got that, what do I need to do? Having been in the collections industry for 8 years prior to the 15 years I've been doing this, I can usually walk people through the process of, who you need to contact, the different credit bureaus, contacting the creditor to inform them that there's fraud going on. As long as you follow some very simple steps, notifying the creditor that it is a fraudulent account, and then typically getting a police report, notifying the 3 credit bureaus that there's been some fraud. Usually you can get that cleaned up within 2 months. It's an aggravation, but having been in the military, my social security number was stenciled in my underwear, and actually it's here in the here in my hat from my time in the service. So not exactly something I'm worried about. If you want to get someone's private information, it's pretty darn easy these days. So, and even 20 years ago when I was a debt collector, it was fairly easy to find people's information. So, but this white paper has some tips. Using secure Wi-Fi. Making sure you're on a secure connection on a website. Again, checking your credit report. Don't talk to strangers. That's some good advice. So, all right, moving on to the next one. The COVID-19 bill was signed into law. I did a talk on that last Friday in my weekly wrap-up. I spoke from the Washington Post article that broke down where all the money went. Most of it's going to things that aren't COVID related. I think about 9% is actually going towards helping people out due to COVID. The rest of it has a lot of pork, and you know how I feel about pork. All right, moving over to what's going on in the world. This is something I hadn't talked about recently, but the balance of trade. Right now, our trade deficit had widened to $68.2 billion as of January. That's, if you look at the chart here, it hasn't been that bad since the mid-2000s when we had our last financial crisis. So we're buying a lot of overseas goods right now simply because we're not producing them here, and so we're sending a lot of U.S. dollars overseas, and again, which is going to flood the overseas market with our paper, and which will bring down the value of the dollar worldwide. So again, something to pay attention to. Another thing that I've been hearing a little rumbling about just in podcasts I listen to and articles that I've been reading is that there's a lot of homes in deferment right now, or pre-foreclosure, and I think the number was 10 million right now. So again, something to pay attention to, and if enough people get back to work, hopefully they can get their mortgages back on track. But I think once the moratorium ends with the COVID relief that's been enacted over the last year, we might see a spike in home inventory and foreclosures. So, and then the last thing I wanted to leave you with was a podcast I caught up on over the weekend. It was from the Tom Woods Show. Episode 1853, and the podcast talked about how to bring healthcare costs down. And his guest, John Osterhout, spoke about direct primary care physicians. It's an interesting listen. I'd recommend, I'll post it in the show notes so you can listen to it if you like. But it's a new way to help for those who maybe not have insurance, or their insurance doesn't cover what they really need. They can look for a direct primary care physician in their area. It's kind of like a subscription, like Netflix, how you pay a flat fee and you can watch all the movies that you can consume in a given month. Kind of the same idea with this physician service, where you pay a flat fee, whether it's $50 or $100 a month, and you get to use the doctor services year-round. So kind of a fee-for-service, or a subscription service, rather than pay at the time of service model. So, all right. Well, that was about everything I wanted to cover there. Let me. All right. Well, here was our back patio. I guess that was last night that I took this photo. So this wall's about 4 foot dug out into the hillside here. So that's a decent amount of snow. There's a fire pit covered. And let's go over here. Here's my grill all covered up. Here was the front drive this morning before I cleared it. And then here was my handiwork after many passes with the snowblower and clearing off as much snow off my truck as I could. So, all right. Well, I'll go ahead and end things there. Hope everyone has a fantastic week. If you need anything from me, don't hesitate to reach out, give me a call, shoot me an email. Always here. And, well, may not answer on Friday if during basketball, but I will be around for any of those who need me. So have a good week and take care. Talk to you on Friday. Bye-bye.